Okay, so the number one thing that you really want to be thinking about when you're in the middle of some sort of transition is making sure that you have set up the parts of your life that are controllable up for success. Okay. And one of the things that we have, I mean, we don't always have control over all the things, but the one thing we do have control over, you guys, always is our environment. Okay. Like your environment when you're about to tackle a transition is crucial. So, again, whether you're transitioning out of a job, out of a relationship, between jobs, between relationships, um, at whatever, okay? Like just think of moving from one space to another, okay? When you're doing this, your the people you surround yourself with, the environment that you're living in matters. Okay. And that is something that you do have control over. And you're going, oh, I don't know, there's some circumstances that I might not have control over, or I have kids that I have to think of, or I have this I have to think of. You guys, like when my mom decided that she was leaving my dad, and I was 2 and my sister was 6, okay, and she didn't have anywhere else to go, we went and lived in a women's shelter. Okay. And we lived there for like, I don't know, a month or so. I don't know. I was 2. I was little. Okay. Until she figured out a plan. But it was like the space. Okay. And like this is there's things set up for you. And I can tell you, like um when I was transitioning from like I've been building this business but I've been working my full-time job, and I want to transition out of my full-time job. Me setting up and surrounding myself with like the right people, making sure that like my own like 4 walls was how I wanted it to be and feel was so crucial, because what's going to happen is as you go through all the feels, your habitual way of being, your paradigm, it is going to look for a way in, and it's going to look where the cracks that it can sneak in to try to make you second guess yourself. Okay. Because especially when you're transitioning out of something that you've always done, there's always room for second guessing. Okay. And you get to have this opportunity where you go, okay, like I have at least the foundation laid, and I'm not listening to all the other noise coming in. Now, there was a few pieces that I missed, like people that I didn't think were going to be like haters of what the decisions I was making, that turned out to be like quite loud in the unsupportive department. Or Delyn, you're crazy. I can't believe you're giving up this 6-figure job with all the things. And I mean, I get now mostly they were just trying to protect themselves in their own decisions, right? And understand, you guys, anybody that does come in and tries to tell you that you're not making the right decision, that's a reflection of them, not you. They'll say, I'm only trying to be honest with you, and nobody else wants to be honest with you. Okay. But if you're firm on your decision, like I knew, okay, I'm done with I'm going all in on my business. Like I'm doing this, right? Or like I can imagine when my mom tells me this later in life, right? Like when she had made the decision, okay, even though it's like 1980 and like nobody's getting divorced, I'm out. Okay, when she made that decision, what happens is like things will start to line up to make sure that your environment is what it needs to be. Okay. Things just magically appear. Okay. But you have to trust that that's what's going to happen. And that's like the full embodiment of your decision. Okay. So, first, once you've made that decision, like, okay, I'm transitioning out of this relationship, this job, whatever. Okay. Then things will start to line up, but you have to control what you are, the controllable factors. Okay. And even though, like for me, when I had those people that were less than supportive, right, I had to be so firm in my decision, and like really leaning into the people that were providing emotional support. Okay. So obviously for me, I was on the same page as Dave, my husband, which was fantastic. My mom was a great support as well. She was like, okay, like you're doing this, keep going. And I had a couple of friends that like I really leaned into, that it wasn't a decision they would make, but they still supported me through it. And that was just enough. Okay. You don't need everybody to agree with you. You just need a few key people to be like, okay, just keep going. Just keep going. You can't, it's okay that you don't see the whole piece, but just keep going. Okay. And this is where your supportive environments, this is what's going to give you that like true help when you need it. Okay. Because there were times when I would come up against a roadblock and I would need to like bounce something off of someone. And if you're an entrepreneur, and you haven't built your team yet, who do you bounce stuff off of, right? Well, this is where I really love like how network marketing is designed, right? Because you have built-in mentors, right? Well, all of my mentors, my professional mentors that I had, they were all still working at the hospital, right? And there was a couple of them that I still was like, hey, I know I don't work here anymore, but like, you've been my mentor for years. What do you think of this, this, and this? And they were amazing. Okay. And I knew that they would be, because mostly because they were like, girl, go do your thing. I got your back through all the things. Right. And you just want to line those people up. Okay. And when in doubt, you have that safe space that you can come back to and lay your head at the end of the day and go, okay, like, I still feel good about where I'm going. Okay. And then when you have these people in place, when you have the environment in place, this is what's it's going to motivate you. It's going to motivate you a lot. Okay. And you're not going to be able to see necessarily all the pieces lining up. When my mom told me about, me at the age of 2 and that whole scenario later in life, she had no idea some of the things that were going to happen. But she just knew, and this is what we call faith. Like, this is faith. And you get to just lean into that. Okay. I had a vision of where I was going in my business, so I could lean into that. I had faith in it. And it also holds me accountable. Okay. And that accountability is exactly what you need, especially if you're the only person that's in alignment with the idea, right? Because even though Dave was like, yeah, I'm really supportive and, all the things, he was still doing his own thing as well, right? Which I always encourage if you're in a relationship with somebody, right? Like, they have their goals, you have your goals together, but we've been very intentional over the course of our relationship to not be like, you're not my crutch. Like, if I start using you as a crutch, I lose, you lose, everybody loses. Okay. And that's part of it. Okay. So this environment that you're building around yourself, they're not your crutch. Okay. Your crutch has to come from within you. You have to build that within you. You have to build that resiliency. Okay. And that's just like a whole new level of awareness. Okay. And what's going to happen is this is going to start to build something in you that you didn't have before. Like, when I made this transition with this environment, it was like a whole new level of confidence, whole new level of like creating success in my life, whole new level of like paying attention and like taking care of myself, whole new level of growth. Okay. So that when you're working on this, always remember that it starts and ends with you. Okay. The environment that you hold in your mind, the things that you're saying to yourself while you're moving forward in life and through this transition, through the relationships, through the jobs, through the transitioning from having all your kids living at home to being an empty nester. Like, there's so many transitions that we go through in life. Okay. So many transitions. but you always want to be asking yourself, who am I in relationship to this transition, and what am I digging out of it? Okay. For those of you that are in the Activate portal within the Pursue You app, we're going to keep digging into this. Okay. And we've been digging into it all week. If you're not in Activate yet, I encourage you to hop on in. You can download the app for free. Pursue You, go on your Google Play Store, go on the Apple Store, and download the app for free. And there's tons of free content in there as well. But then upgrade to the Activate membership. Honestly, it is pure gold when we are in there. And I go live with you throughout the month as we dig in to so many amazing topics. So Activate peeps, I will see you in there. When you're ready to get activated, hop on in and join us.